Welcome to Subramani. As a Sanatani Hindu, we have many gods, right? Let's say 33,000 gods. You want to say 33 crore, whatever the number. Unfortunately, we don't have a god for risk. We have a god for rain. We have a god for health. We have a temple, at least in South India, for a temple which protects the pregnancy for a woman. It protects the fetus. It protects her, right? It's called a Garbha Rakshambika. You understand what it is, Garbha Raksha, right? So we have such specialized gods, but we don't have a god for risk, and therefore we do not understand risk. We have one set of people. Let's come to personal finance and mutual fund industry, the only industry where I can claim I understand a little bit. Are the people who sell specific schemes of insurance or some specific schemes for mutual funds. So imagine coming and telling a girl just starting her career, she's 20 to 23 years of age, maybe 24 years of age, telling her that she has to take term insurance. I was very amused at the sales pitch which was happening. I was there and I was not opening my mouth. I was just quiet, and that person was saying, look, you're earning 22 lakhs or 21 lakhs or something like that, so you need to take a 2 crore term insurance and put the remaining money that you have in mutual funds, etc. This is the best thing to do. And after the salesperson went, I asked the girl, what did she decide? She said, yeah, it is correct. I need to take a term insurance. I said, what do you need a term insurance for? Who is dependent on you? There is nobody dependent on her. And this is the only child for both grandparents, not just for the parents. Father is the only child, his mother is the only child. Actually, father has a brother who does not have children, who has not got married, is been a bachelor. So obviously she's the only grandchild on both sides. She's going to inherit the wealth created by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, including her father's brother. As of today, that wealth is about 50 crores, right? So 50 crores, if all the older people in her family die today, I mean, putting it very crudely, and this 50 crores will become at least 200 crores by the time she inherits it, right? It's all in good investments, mom's ESOP, father's ESOP, well invested in equities. That's the kind of money she is going to get. Assuming for a minute she marries somebody of that category, will a 2 crore term insurance even help, right? So the sales people do not understand that you have to ask the full circumstances. Now come to the mutual fund industry. Whether it is a CIO or the CEO who is under pressure to collect AUM, they will constantly tell you that now we have to reduce risk. The markets are very high. I'm recording this in September 23, 2023. And the markets are very high. Small cap is too high, mid cap is too high. So you should remove money from small cap and mid cap and put it into a balanced advantage fund or a multi-asset allocated fund. Is this good advice? Yes, this is good advice, provided you know the end customer. Now suppose the end customer, the end investor has 15% in equity and 85% in debt, right? He is already struggling to keep his equity at 15%, because when it goes up he is scared and he sells and puts it to more into debt. Should such a person invest in a multi-asset allocator or in a balanced advantage fund? Yes, he should, provided he removes money from his debt portion, not from his equity portion. But when a CIO or a CEO says the markets are very high, you should remove money from equity and put it into multi-asset, what he is saying is right. But provided he is assuming that this customer or this investor is 90% in equity, then this advice is right. It is not right if he is 15% in equity, right? He should be more, but he is scared. So this advice for risk is also very difficult. You have to understand that some investment could be very risky for you because you have a different time zone. If you have a 1 year time zone, equity is risky. If you have a 30-year time zone, debt is risky. Understand that. So that's very important for you to understand. So time and risk are very important. In fact, Bernstein talks about it in his book also, that about time and risk, because once you have time on your side and you have picked up a good portfolio, I'm not saying for bad stock pickers. If you have picked up a wrong stock, and then time doesn't help, time actually hurts you more. But if you have picked up a good portfolio, like a good fund, well managed, or in the worst case scenario, an index fund, then what is on your side is the time. What is on your side is when do you need that money. Do you need that money after 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, or 30 years? If you need it after 30 years, time is on your side, right? So how much is understanding a customer risk or a client risk, you have to consider all these things. What is the total number of what is the total assets that this person has? Does this person have any liability, and what is the time frame for which he or she is investing? Right, when you see all that, then you realize that a rich man, maybe in his 50s or 60s, who has got say 30 crores, for his retirement he needs 3 crores. He really has infinite time. He need the market need not recover even during his lifetime. If you're talking of a 1 crore kind of a risk, he can afford to lose that 1 crore, because it is 1 divided by 30. That is the percentage that he is losing. I'm not saying it is good to lose money, but whenever you're losing money, that is not the criteria to see about risk. Yes, you are losing money because your time frame was different. So if I were funding a venture capital startup, suppose I was a venture capitalist and I was funding a startup, and the amount which I had invested was insignificant, very small compared to my normal ticket, and I could afford to stay for 15 years instead of 7 years, then the risk for me is less. The risk for the guy doing the startup is real, because he's taking his career, putting a lot of money, putting other people's money. For him the risk is more real. For me the risk is less. So right, so first of all you have to understand that if a person has adequate assets, has no future liabilities, right? No future liabilities. 50 years of age, is children are settled, or children have been provided for, wife is also earning, right? Or wife has enough money by herself and she's going to get this, then there is absolutely no risk possible for this person, because he's got a lot of assets, he's got no liabilities, and he's got time on his side. So once you have time on your side, the only risk is the poor quality that you can pick, right? So that is the risk. So if you don't pick up bad quality, you have adequate assets to feed yourself for the next few years, or you have dividend income or interest income or rent income, and you are picking up good quality stocks, or you're picking up good quality fund managers, and you have a lot of time on your hand, I just don't see risk. There can't be any risk. Yes, there can be risk of being excessively in one asset class, and that asset class suffering, because of that your income also falling. But if your income is not connected, for example, if you have got an annuity coming from somewhere, maybe you were working for the UN, maybe you were working for the government of India, in a very senior post. So if that is coming to you, then the ability to take risk is much higher, because there is no risk, because the pension that you will get is another infinite source. It will never stop. I mean, good chance that it will never stop. So time is on your side. So if your assets recover after 10 years, perfectly all right. If you're alive, it's great. If you're not alive, for the next of kin also, it is perfectly all right, because there is another source of cash flow. So understand all this. So if you're a CIO or a CIO, and you have to push products, be careful. Today, very fairly balanced advantage fund or a multi-asset allocator is doing well, because equity is booming. Now if you remove 30-40% of equity and say that will give you minus 5% return, or that has given you minus 5% return, debt is giving you say plus 5% return, and there is gold, and let's say gold gives 1% return, can you imagine what will be the overall return in a portfolio like this? So please understand that any portfolio with equity, Indian equity, foreign equity, etc., there is risk. But when you have time on your side, you understand that that risk is something which you can take. Whereas the CIO who is talking, or the CEO who is talking on on a Zoom call does not understand what you have. Yes, if you have this kind of an age where there's nobody financially dependent on you, and you have lots of money, and you're afraid to put in equity, asking you to put money in a balanced fund out of your equity does not make sense, right? So to talk about risk, you have to understand the customer, the investor. That's far more important. Thank you.